you followed my socials for even 5 seconds, you probably would have seen me mention Inter Alia as one of my most anticipated plays of the year. I finally saw it last week, and while I enjoyed it, I also think my expectations were a bit too high since Prima Facie and that guttural reaction that it provoked. But that's on me, to be fair. However, I do believe that having seen Prima Facie made Inter Alia a bit predictable, since the premise is essentially the same. A law professional forced to review her beliefs, to question her morals when an essay case gets a bit too close for comfort. But even with the predictability, it still raised some very interesting questions about manhood, motherhood, the ever-current patriarchal influence of the justice system. And just like Prima Facie, it's also very educational in its approach. Within dialogue and narration, it explains the ins and outs of an assault court case from an insider's perspective, and all of the workarounds and rule bending and the gaps that exist in the law that often hold back justice for the victims. So that educational aspect, combined with the fact that humor or comedy is scarce in the text, there are a few attempts that actually don't land as well as they expected them to, had me a bit surprised about the audience's light-hearted response to some very serious moments. And maybe it was divergent interpretation of the purpose of the scene, or even its delivery. Maybe they were taking it differently from what I was taking it. Or maybe it's a sign that some people are still very unaware of how common essay is and need to learn how to look into it with the severity it entails. And if that's the reason for some of those reactions, then despite not connecting with it as much as I did with Prima, because of the difference in perspective from which the story is being told, I still need to acknowledge the importance and the value of this play and bringing these topics and the questions that they raise to light. It's just a sort of theatre that has to exist.